Well, we are still in an active weather pattern across central Oregon. Earlier today, a cold front pushed through. We went from wet roads to in and out clouds. It is still breezy. It is still chilly, and heavy mountain snow continues through the Cascades. Hey, everyone. I am Darrell Winninger, the meteorologist at Central Oregon Daily News, and we're about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Look at what has been happening today, the changes that we're expecting through the next 24 hours. Then, what happens as we're wrapping up the work week and going into the weekend? So as of right now, we see some blue in a couple of these cameras. Also see some cameras with a whole lot of cloud cover and some rain and snow showers off in the distance with more mountain snow. Yeah, that is continuing, and we definitely need the precipitation in our highest elevations. And our winter storm impact graphic shows some minor impacts through the next 3 days. That's because the bulk of this system has already rolled through the Pacific Northwest. So we are looking at a fast weather reset. Heavy mountain snow continues for a little while longer. Meanwhile, some snow showers are expected tonight and into early Thursday. It's still going to be chilly, still going to be breezy. In fact, overnight lows are getting even colder, and that clearing really takes shape on Thursday. Then high pressure sets up over the region. That high pressure brings its own set of changes, and the warming trend begins on Friday. So let's focus a little bit more on what we have been seeing, how long this winter weather is going to last before that cold front really gets out of here. So it looks like we do have some slick roads to the Cascades. Each one of these past cameras shows some snow on the ground. Much the same also at Diamond Lake Junction. That's the other one we don't see here. But when we go ahead and focus on the snow report, as of 5 p.m., we've gained 12 inches, a whole foot at Bachelor and Hoodoo, 16 inches. At Timberline Meadows isn't reporting right now, but this is some much needed mountain snow, and it's still not done. We're still expecting another 4 to 8 inches through the Cascades in the lower, but that's through the entire event. This right here is showing between now and 7 a.m. tomorrow. In fact, we're going to take a little closer look at that and switch over to a couple of different forecast models to see if that changes. One forecast model is showing 2 to 4 inches. Another one is showing 12 to 18 inches. So I'm going to stick with my original thought and go with 4 to 8 inches through the Cascades through the rest of this event. So we are not done just yet. More mountain snow is expected, and we could even be getting some snow in our lower elevations. Some of the road cameras from the traffic trip check do show some wet roads and sisters. It actually looks like we could be getting some slick conditions, just not quite there. Other cameras show some shadows on the ground, so that is indicative of some in and out clouds. Now, we still have a winter storm warning through the Cascades of Central Oregon and the Cascades of Northern Oregon, but we also have a winter weather advisory. All of that is set to expire at 7 a.m. Thursday. The Big Tan area, that is a wind advisory, and and it shows that we are actually expecting to see that continue here until 7 p.m. So tapering winds, but then by tomorrow they could pick up once again through the afternoon. That light blue color is a freeze watch until 9 a.m. Friday, and that darker blue color is a frost advisory until 9 a.m. tomorrow. So we are still looking at this active weather pattern continuing through a little bit longer. And in fact, when we look at just satellite and radar, the satellite imagery is a blend of visible and infrared. It shows where those pockets of clearing are. It also shows where we still have some snow through the Cascade. So we are not done yet. Looking at the bigger picture, we do still have some moisture further out over the Pacific Ocean and on the other side of the Cascades. When we look a little bit more at the bigger picture, we can actually see a little bit of circulation close to the international line. Right around Vancouver Island is where the center of that circulation is, getting into the San Juan Islands. And that is the remnants of this system. I really think we could actually see a little bit more redevelopment, and that whole area of precipitation continues to impact us tonight going into tomorrow. So some snow showers are expected. That's where we're expecting to catch a little bit of light totals in the lower elevations and even more mountain snow. So when I said that we're still looking at another 4 to 8 inches in the Cascades, that's because of what's yet to come on the backside of this system. And then by tomorrow, we have some AM snow showers, not even for everybody, at 7 a.m. Then clearing begins, temperatures stay chilly, and winds become breezy for most of us. So when we look at the bigger picture, we can actually see this a little bit better. This is just infrared satellite imagery. I enhanced it a little bit. There's a broad ridge of high pressure out over the Pacific Ocean. That high comes into play by Friday and Saturday. But when we look at what's happening over BC and Washington, that's where we could actually see a little bit more of that circulation. And this wraparound moisture looks like it could be impacting us here through a little while longer. Now, over Central Oregon, we've had that in and out cloud cover, a little bit of precipitation, but also winds are breezy, even gusty for many of us. And when it comes to water vapor imagery, a couple dry slots are getting ready to start moving into this system and choke it out, essentially. But we're not quite there yet. So your forecast model, this is the high resolution forecast model, and it shows that here through the rest of this evening and tonight, scattered light snow showers are expected. We're on the backside of the cold front, so the colder air mass is already overhead, and falling snow levels continue. And through Thursday morning, some of those light snow showers, that's what could leave us with some slick roads. And we're not looking at a lot. Some of us barely even measurable. Others could get 1 to 2 inches, but that's a stretch. And then through Thursday, we start to clear out. Winds stay breezy. And by Friday, that's when we're back to a light breeze with more sunshine and in and out clouds. So we are still in an active weather pattern for a little while longer. And when it comes to relative humidity values, they are moderate to high. Now, that pretty much means with this system, anything that falls is most likely going to drop all the way to the surface. We're not going to see too much evaporation or even sublimation if it's snow. We're just going to get some of that precipitation here through the rest this evening, tonight, and into Thursday. Now, the last 24 hours, we topped out in the 40s with a few 50s and 30s. Right now, we're solidly in the 30s and 40s. It is chilly. It is gusty, and temperatures are running between 5 and 11 degrees cooler than it was just 24 hours ago. Now, here through the next couple of days, we do have some concerns when it comes to future road conditions. So I needed to reset that and fast forward at 11 p.m. By 7 p.m., we're just looking at some wet roads, and notice through the mountains, light snow on the road. Fast forward to 11 o'clock, starting to see some slick roads in some of our higher elevations. We're talking the Pine, Three Rivers, Sun River, maybe parts of Deschutes River Woods, Sisters, Black Butte Range, Camp Sherman, basically the slopes of the Cascades. And it only worsens a little bit by tomorrow morning. This is where we're looking at those slick roads. After that, it starts to melt quite a bit, and we're looking at more rain showers by tomorrow during the midday hours before we really see it clear out. So tonight we're getting cold. We're talking 20s. By tomorrow back into the 40s. Still chilly. Cold nights and chilly days. Feels more like winter than it does spring. Yeah, but that's April for you. A whole lot of changes. Now, our future precipitation map does show that a stronger low pressure core is going to be offshore, but it's also going to come with some waves of moisture that start to work their way through the high desert. And over Central Oregon, light totals, mountains still looking at some decent snow accumulation, but the bulk of it is in our rear view mirror. So by Friday and Saturday under sunshine, a warming trend begins. We're through the 60s, reaching into the 70s briefly just before that next system starts to roll into the region. And here's what I'm talking about. Through the overnight hours, we are looking at some snow showers. By tomorrow, we start to clear out pretty quickly, and then a little lingering moisture, but that's not going to bring much in the way of precipitation by Friday, by Saturday, even by Sunday. A mixture of sunshine and only some clouds. Sunday by the afternoon hours, we could catch a few showers, but they will be few and far between. The long-range forecast model confirms what we're looking at with the one that I typically show on air. By Saturday and Sunday, some in and out clouds. Still, this one doesn't hold on to any of that moisture by Sunday. It actually keeps that low further offshore, working its way south at this point and keeping us mostly dry until we hit Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we got a little bit of a split forecast depending on which forecast model you use. But overall, we are looking at a trace to maybe 2 inches in a few spots through tonight getting into tomorrow, but more mountain snow is expected. A different forecast model shows similar totals, just less in the highest elevations and barely a trace in the lower elevations. Winds are gusty right now. Look at some of these gusts. Between 20 and 40 miles per hour across the high desert. Actual wind speeds, 15 to 25 miles per hour. So we have strong winds. And by tomorrow, it's still going to be breezy. Then we're back down to a light breeze by Friday. So for tonight, expect 20s with a few teens. By tomorrow, we're talking 40s, some 50s, and clearing with strong winds continuing. Once that clearing really takes shape, under tons of sunshine, we warm through the 50s, through the 60s to either side of 70 degrees for a couple of days. By Monday, our next system starts to impact the Pacific Northwest. Some showers are expected, wind speeds pick back up. So ultimately, we are looking at colder and snow showers tonight, chilly, breezy, and clearing Thursday, then rebounding into this weekend. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News.